Hey everyone, this is Amy with Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and I am so excited to be a part of the Crafty Collaborations catalog launch party. I have been a part of several of these, and I find them absolutely amazing because there are so many great demonstrators that are a part of it that give lots of great inspiration for the upcoming catalogs. So this is going to be the mini January to April 2024 catalog. Don't forget that it is also celebration, so any order that you place, you can do, if you have $50 before tax and shipping, you are available for a free item. There's a $50 category as well as a $100 category, so make sure that you check all that information out. We are going to play, for my launch card, we are going to be using the Beach Days. So this is the stamp set and bundle that we're going to be playing with today with me. Don't overlook this set. Sorry, I didn't have you on the screen there. This is a set that I actually almost overlooked in the catalog. It is a little different than what I've seen Stampin' Up! Do in the past, but I have really loved playing with this set. There are, of course, dies that match your images here in the stamp set. So that's what your stamp set is. But the dies actually include some additional items that you can add in. You've got some waves, you've got like this, which can be your beach. You've got your palm trees, and then you've got some standalone dies that are for other items as well, like building up your beach houses, that kind of stuff. So this is an amazing set. I think it's very versatile, and I'm excited to share my card with you. So this is the card we'll be making. We're going to be using some of the Be Mine 12 by 12 paper in the background because I wanted it to have a little bit more of that yellow for some sunshine on the beach. So let's get started. And I'm going to pull out my supplies. I try to be pretty organized, but sometimes, you know, in crafting, there are things that you have to that you think you prepare for, but it doesn't always work out just right, right? All right, so we've got our card base here. I'm gonna go ahead so I can get to this piece on. This again comes from, and it's called the Be Mine 12 by 12 designer series paper, and that's the pattern that we're gonna use, which I think works perfect with some bright yellow sunshine. I'm gonna use my liquid glue for this. And this is just going to allow me to make sure that I get this piece onto my card base straight. Otherwise, I would probably have it all crooked and would have to start over, which you don't want to do with pretty paper. All right, there we go. Now, I've cut a piece of Pool Party here. I've also cut some other pieces. This is the cloud die from the Basic Borders. And then, of course, this is using the ground, what I call the ground or the beach die from our die set. I have cut that twice so that, and actually, let me show you what I did. So this was the piece of cardstock that I had. I used the die, lined it up just like this on here. I cut it out, and then it gave me this piece as well as this piece. Well, I think these are both perfect pieces for the beach, and so that is what we are going to use. We're going to use both sides of it. All right, so we are going to then use the Seaside Bay, which is in our annual catalog. We are just going to use this image right here so that we can add some additional beach to our crumb cake here. We are going to stamp that in crumb cake. And let me grab a piece of grid paper here so that I don't get it all over my workspace. And then I'm not worried about the pattern of it. I'm just going to start stamping down. I am going to make it look so that it's not all uniform. And you don't even have to get all the spots. You just really want it to kind of look like there is some sand grains on your crumb cake pieces. And then we'll just keep going until we've got it exactly the way we want it. And I'm good with that. All right. And then we are going to set that aside really quick with our other pieces. We're going to pull in a scrap of basic white. Oh, I also used the Stylish Shape dies to cut out the smallest stitch circle, and that is going to be our sun. But we are going to stamp our images, and we're going to do a little bit of coloring. It's not too bad, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to start with our umbrella, just because it's larger, so I just want to make sure I get everything onto this one sheet of paper. So I'm going to start with the largest and work my way down to the smallest. All right, and then we're going to do our chair. And when we do our chair, we're actually going to do our chair twice because we want it to be a two-person scene. All right, so there we go. And you want to make sure that you space your pieces apart far enough so that you can cut them out at the same time and you're not having to run each one individually through. All right, before we pack up our ink here, let's stamp our sentiment. And it's wishing you a beautiful day. And we're going to stamp this right along our cloud here. All right, and then that is our stamping, not too difficult. And then let's work on our coloring. So I'm going to put this in to make sure I color everything the right color. So we are going to use some Linneman Lolly in order to color in our umbrella here, and we're going to use some dark and some light. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's what I love about our blends is that I just kind of add in some dark areas. And then the blends just do it all for me. We're going to fill that in with our light Lemon Lolly. And then ta-da, there we are. Quick and simple. All right, let's do our castle in the sand. We're just going to add in some dark. And so we've got some sand spots, which is one of the reasons why I picked the stamp set from Seaside Bay, was because it's very similar to what is down here on our sand castle. So we're just going to kind of do some of these dark areas here. And then we will color in the rest with the light. And when we do our light, we are going to come all the way down, kind of like this. And the reason for that is when you cut it out, you're going to have a little bit of space at the bottom. That's going to be a lot of white. And so I felt like it blends in a little bit better with our crumb cake sand if you just kind of continue that down further. All right, and then let's take some Poppy Parade and let's do our lounge chair or our water chairs, or I'm not really sure what I call them, beach chairs, but I know a lot of people call them water chairs too because they stick them in the water. All right, and then we're going to do this one on this side. And then fill in with our light. Okay, and then we're also going to do our beach ball, and that is just going to be all dark red. Or not red, I'm sorry, Poppy Parade. All right, there we go. Now, in the description of the video, I do have the products that are used with a link to those products, so feel free to check that out. I also, in the description of this video, will have other things that I offer in my business, so feel free to check that out as well. If you have questions, you can let me know. There is a tutorial that is being offered as a fundraiser for this event that will give you all of the details as far as measurements and that kind of stuff. So make sure you check that out as well to help us raise funds for our charity. And it do a worldwide charity so that everyone gets to be involved in that. All right, so let's take our pieces, and I'm going to use some tape to make sure that I don't move these pieces. And then I am going to have to run this one through twice, but I'm going to make the video go quicker so that you don't have to watch all of that as well. All right, with all of those pieces cut out, we can now start putting our card together. We'll take all the pieces and put them back onto my magnetic board so I don't lose them. That is the story of my life when I'm crafting or doing a live, is I tend to not put things back down. So I end up losing them and having to go on the hunt for them. All right. So here we go. We're going to bring in our sample just so we can kind of follow along. We are going to attach this straight on down here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive right here across the top of my sun. If I can find my adhesive, there we go. And we're just going to put a little bit up here at the top. And the reason for that is I just want to make sure that I'm going to be placing it in the right area. So we want to put this right here. And actually, that's a little too much adhesive on it. So I'm just going to roll it. Here's a little tip. Just roll it. And it will adhere over itself. And then that will give me the ability to now hide that adhesive. So I'm going to stick it right there. And then I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and then I can adhere across here. We're going to stick this up here at the top edge. Make sure I get it in the right place. And then we're going to follow that pool party edge all the way around, or all the way across. We are then going to take this piece here, and we're going to lay it right about here. We don't want much room. We don't need much room in here. So we're going to attach it just with regular adhesive. Let's actually do it about there, because we definitely don't want it to have the same pattern running there together. So we want to make sure that our hills are a little off. So then this one's going to go straight down here on the bottom like this, and we might move it down a little bit more. All right, so then we'll put our adhesive on this end. And move it down just a little bit. And we're going to trim all those ends off. Now I'm going to push it, but I'm not going to like really adhere it down, because what I want to do is I want to take our little beach ball here. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of it. You could use a glue dot as well, or some liquid glue. And then we're going to stick it right about here. There we go. And now I can adhere it all down good. Now I'm going to grab my cutter and we're going to trim off these extra pieces. And I just have a little cutter. This is the old Stampin' Up! Mini cutter. All right, let's actually trim off this end first because we can get the flat surface there. So we know we'll get it flat all the way around. And one more. There we go. Get all of our trash out the way. And then we have our little pieces here. I am going to stick our umbrella on dimensionals right there. And with our dimensionals, we're not going to put a dimensional on that piece. We're just going to put it up top. If it will let me. There we go. All right, so this is gonna sit kind of at an angle like this, like it is stuck down into that sand. And then we are going to adhere both of these down flat. Let me add a little bit more adhesive there. Okay. And that's gonna sit right about here. And it's gonna sit behind that pole there, like it's sitting on one side of it. And then we'll do the other. And this one is gonna sit right about here. And this is gonna kind of sit on that umbrella so that it keeps that part down. So you want to make sure you overlap it just a touch so that it'll keep your pole down. All right, and then we're going to pop up our castle with a dimensional, and let's put another one on there side by side like that. And then we'll stick that right there. All right, we're gonna flip that over. We are gonna add dimensionals to the back of it. I'm a dimensional girl, so I like to add plenty on there. Make sure it doesn't go flat when I send it in the mail. And then we'll stick it onto our card front. And this card is done. We might want to put it the right way though. All right, we'll stick it right there in the center, and ta-da, that is our beach day card. I hope you guys enjoy watching the rest of the demonstrators for their presentations, and we'll see you next time. Bye.